So remember, when we're practicing our yoga, if you're harboring an injury, so if you've got a bad knee or a bad shoulder or your hips feeling a little bit sore, or even just today you've woken up feeling a little bit lopsided or you've had a bad night's sleep. Oh, I must say, sleep tape, before I forget, I work a lot with sleep. Sleep to me is an absolute priority. And I get really quite twitchy if I don't get my sort of 7 hours sleep. But I was talking to someone yesterday about it and she said, oh, I sleep really badly. And I said, have you tried, and I've mentioned this before, the mouth tape? And she looked at me, she said, what, you take your mouth shut? And I said, no, you put a tiny bit of tape on the middle of your lips, micropore tape, and it stops you breathing through your mouth. Anyway, so she emailed me this morning. She said, oh my God, it was amazing. She said, I can't wait for my husband to get home and I'm going to do it to him too. I was like, oh, his and hers mouth tape. But if you have trouble sleeping, mouth tape can really help. Anyway, sorry. So if you lie on your back, we'll start. We'll do some yoga. Anyway, so my point was, if you're harboring an injury, just be gentle with yourself. And I'm your guide. You don't have to do everything I say. So if your body is feeling a little bit uncomfortable, listen to what your body's saying rather than me. So we'll rest on our back for a second in Shavasana. So this is a resting pose. That sound will stop in a minute and the routine goes up. Just bring awareness to your breath. So remember, we're breathing in and out through the nose. And if you've had a busy morning so far, you've rushed to get here, or whatever you might have been doing this morning, just take a few moments just to allow your breath to start to slow. And with every exhale, feel the body just dropping onto the earth. So in my practice, I teach seasonal yoga, which means that we're working with the energy of late summer. And this is all about nurturing oneself. It's linked to the earth element in the body. So feel your body just releasing onto the earth. And then as you bend the knees, draw the knees up towards your chest. Take the arms out to the side, so palms are facing up. And we'll just let the knees just roll from side to side. So the arms are out to the side. We're dropping the knees over to your left as you look to your right. And then you go the other way. Knees go to your right as you look to your left. And again, twist. Knees go left as you look to the right. So it can just start off as a little tiny bend, little tiny twist. And again, knees go to the right as you look to your left. Just seeing how your back is feeling this morning. Knees go one way, you look the other. And again, knees go one way and you look. Try and keep the shoulders down. We'll do 2 more. Knees go over to your left as you look to your right. And knees go to the right as you look to your left. So if you can bring the knees back to central position, just holding underneath your knees. Keep the knees together, feet together. Make some circular movements with your knees. So you'll be bending the elbows and you'll be feeling maybe a little massaging movement against your back. And go the other way. I can't remember if I mentioned in this class, my friend is going to be absolutely rushed off her feet, but if you like massage, I have mentioned it in some classes, that a friend of mine in Lip Hook, she does the most phenomenal massage. It's about 2 hours. I've been recommending her left, right, and centre. So I don't know how busy she is, but anyway, she's really good. Anyway. And then as you stop, take your left foot onto the ground, knee is bent, and take your right leg up into the air. And then you can interlace the hands, so your left knee is bent, your right leg is straight. Interlace the hands behind your right thigh. And then we'll just start to circle the ankles, spread the toes. And go the other way. So keep the back of the body on the ground, try not to lift the hips. And then stopping, ease that right leg towards you a little bit. Inhale, release a little. And exhale, so keep the leg straight, Leslie. And then exhale, squeeze the leg towards you. And again, inhale, release it.
Exhale, squeeze that right leg towards you. Hold it here for a second. So your elbows are bent and you can resist a little bit with the leg, with your hands against the leg. So create a bit of tension between the two. And then we swap sides. So take the left foot onto the ground, take the right leg up in the air, interlace the hands behind your left leg up in the air, I think I said. So left leg is in the air, right knee is bent, and then we'll circle the left foot, left ankle. Spread your toes. You go the other way. So spread the sole of your right foot. And then you can ease your left leg towards you. So just encourage the leg towards you. See how this leg feels. It might feel a bit different. Inhale, release a little bit. Exhale, squeeze the leg towards you. And again, inhale, releasing. Exhale, you squeeze, then hold it here and resist. So push the hands against the leg and vice versa. And then you bring the foot back down towards the ground. And if you take your right ankle onto your left knee, ease your right knee away from you. So just be mindful, see how this feels. Pick your left foot off the ground, interlace the hands behind your left thigh. So try flexing the feet, and then you might be able to ease your right elbow, your right knee away with your elbow. So easing the knee away, squeezing left knee towards you. Keep the head on the ground. So as you inhale, it's a little pulsing movement. Your knee moves away from you, and then as you exhale, squeeze the knee towards you. Again, inhale, release a little. Exhale as you squeeze, hold it here. If you wanted, you could lift your head towards your right ankle. Coming back into spine. And then the foot comes down towards the ground, but keep your ankle on top. So you drop your knees over to the right, extend the arms out to the side again. Palms are facing up, so you drop your knees over to the right. Rachel, and then look to your left. The shoulders are down. And then just see how this feels. Twist. And you might notice, so keep awareness of the breath, you might notice the movement into the left side of your body. And as you start to come up, cross your knees. So you can either just keep your knees crossed. So see if you can cross the knees. I don't know if this will work for you, Leslie. And then some of you, so you're dropping right knee over the left, and some of you might be able to wrap your right ankle, your right foot around your left ankle. So, and then we can take the hands to the shins, ease the knees towards your chest. Squeeze the thighs together, so everything is squeezed together, and just see if you can just draw the knees a little bit closer to your chest. And again, if you wanted, you could lift your head towards your right knee. Tummy back to spine. And then you slowly release the head, untangle your legs, bring the right foot onto the ground, take the left ankle on top now, ease your left knee away from you, and pick your right foot off the ground, interlace the hands behind your thigh. So if you flex the feet again, ease the left knee away from you, and then squeeze the right knee towards you, silent. Inhale, release a little. And exhale, squeeze the knee towards you. So you're using your left elbow to move, if you can, the left knee away from you. And again, inhale, release. Exhale as you squeeze. And then if you'd like, lift your head towards your left foot. And then as the foot comes down, take your arms out to the side, drop your knees over to the left as you look to your right. So the shoulders down, your chest is open. And just noticing your breath. So optimum breath at rest is about 5 to 6 breaths per minute. And then you start to come up. Let your left knee drop over your right. Pick your feet off the ground. Again, take your hands to your shins. If you can wrap that right foot around the left foot around your right ankle. Squeeze the knees back towards you. Squeeze the thighs together, and if you like, you can lift your head towards your left knee. Squeeze. And then you can slowly release down, bring the feet flat to the floor. And we'll just slide the left leg towards the left foot towards the top of the mat. Hug your right knee towards your chest. So hugging right knee towards you, push out through your left heel and tuck your chin towards you, your chest. And we'll take another twist by taking the right ankle onto your left knee. Let the knee drop over to your left. Keep the hand just resting above your right knee, but take the right arm out to the side. So you've got your left hand on your right knee. The right arm is out to the side and your right shoulder's relaxed. You might have your left elbow on the floor as well. And you're turning the head to the right. And as you start to roll yourself back to the middle, coming into a reclined version of tree pose by taking your right foot onto your left inner thigh, pushing out through your left heel, take the arms overhead. So you've got the right knees coming down towards the ground, the right foot's on the, that's it. Reaching through the fingers. You've got length through the sides of the body and then just release. So we'll do tree pose standing later on. So this is sort of a shape we're looking for. So the hips are level. Your right knee is coming out towards the side and your left leg is active. So we're pushing down through the sole of the foot, drawing up. So the hip is not floppy. So we're drawing up through the left leg and then you can just relax the shoulders a little. And then we bring it up and we're swap sides. So take the right leg along the ground, hug your left knee towards your chest, squeeze the knee towards you. Push up through the right heel as you take your left foot to the inner thigh. Let the knee drop down towards the ground as far as comfortable. Take the arms overhead again. So now you've got this action through your right leg. You're pushing out through the heel, then you relax the arms a little, but keep this sense of opening through the sides of the body and the left knee is coming towards the floor without lifting your right hip. So the hips are fairly level. Bring the arms to your side, bring the right foot to meet your left. So you've got now the soles of the feet together and you want your knees equidistant from the ground. So if you know one hip is a bit more open than the other, just keep the knees matched. So your knees equidistant, you could rest your hands on your inner thighs. And we'll just hold it here for a second. So this is called Supta Baddha Konasana, reclined cobbler's pose. And with every exhale, we're just letting the back of the body rest on the mat. And then we'll use the hands just to ease the thighs back together, the feet are hip distance apart. And we'll take flowing bridge. So as we push into the feet, we're going to lift the hips, the tummy, the chest. At the same time, the arms are lifting. So the backs of the hands are resting on the floor behind you. And then try not to let the knees flop out to the side. And as you release down, you're taking the arms, the upper back, the middle back, the lower back, down towards the ground. So again, lifting up, pushing into the feet, lift the arms. When you get to the top, ease the knees away from you so you feel a sense of openness through the fronts of your thighs. Lovely. And then releasing down, upper back, middle back, touching down at the same time. One more time, lifting up. So you get to the top as the backs of the hands touch the floor. And then you flip the hands over and you roll yourself down. And then hug the knees back towards your chest. And then this time as we circle the legs, we take the knees out to the sides individually and back to the middle again. So we're taking the knees out and back to the middle, out and to the middle, and then change direction. And whenever your mind starts wandering, just keep coming back to the breath. So we have about 50,000 thoughts per day. And we're often really not very aware of the quality of those thoughts. Cross your ankles, rock yourself up. And in fact, generally, it's thought that most of our thoughts are quite negative. So in yoga, or if you have practice meditation, it's a chance for you to kind of watch what's happening with your thoughts. So if you notice that you're going off down a train of thought of worry or stress or whatever it might be, you can either just come back to your breath, which is one of the simplest forms of meditation, or replace the thought with an affirmation, which is another thing. It's quite useful to do. So soles of the feet together, knees come down towards the ground, chest is lifted. Oh, there's music on. If it sounds horrible on the Zoom, let me know. But put this on. Right, so, oops. Sorry, I'm sure. So, soles of the feet together, and then we can just roll the body. Inhale as you come forwards. And this might be a tiny little movement, or it might be a big circling movement. And then just notice where you can feel this. You might notice the touch down of your elbows against the legs as you move. And perhaps you can hear your breath, or maybe you just want to notice the sensation as it enters and leaves your nostrils. And change direction. When we slow the breath, we become much more likely to be in alpha state, so a state of creativity and relaxation. When the breath is quicker, we tend to be more in beta brainwaves, which are the kind of more active and slightly more stressy state. So come back to your center, and then just let your knees just drop a little closer towards the floor as you lift your chest. And you can lift the knees a little, perhaps tucking your chin towards your chest. So as you inhale, let the knees come down towards the floor, lift your chest. Lift your chest. And then tucking your chin towards your chest as you lift your knees. And again, inhale, lift. Exhaling. And then this time as you come down, let the knees drop towards the floor, but let your elbows rest on your calf muscles and just allow the body to fold forwards a little bit. So your head is coming towards your feet. Coming up, pulling up on the pelvic floor, tummy button to spine. Take your right leg forward. Pick your left foot up and we'll rock the baby. So holding the leg wherever feels comfortable. You might get your hands around your foot, or you might be here. And then we can just rest the foot on the inner thigh. So this knee is coming down, so it may be here. So which is your bad knee? The other one's okay. I'm watching. So knee is coming down towards the ground. Draw the toes back towards you, sitting tall, lifting up. Tummy button to spine and folding forwards. So if you need to have a bend in the left knee, that's fine. If you feel your back is really rounding and it's not comfortable, just have a little bend, or just keep the fold slightly higher. So just find this place that feels comfortable for you. And then if you're in quite a deep fold, but your knee is bent, when you're in this shape, without changing the forward fold at all, see if you can push out through the heel. Can you still hear me on Zoom with the music in the background? Hopefully you can. Good. Coming up, walk yourself up. Take your left foot underneath your right thigh. And then, so two options here. You can just bring your right foot over your left knee. So that's one option. But if that's not very comfortable, if you feel your hips are kind of skew-ish, you can straighten your left leg. So either one is fine. We're going to take a twist though from here. So if you've got your, that's it, everyone's good. So you can take your left arm around your right thigh. Find length along the spine and then take the back of your right hand to the small of the back.
You have to wriggle it through to the other side and then ease the right shoulder back as you find length along your spine. So as you inhale, you lift, exhale, you twist. Push down through the edge of your left foot, spread the sole of your right foot. And you might feel that, notice this movement of the breath against your right thigh as you breathe. And then as you start to uncurl, you could slide the hand down your right leg, pick your right leg up with your left hand. So you might be here, you might be have the hand to the edge of the foot, and then take the other hand, then your opposite hand to the foot. So you want, that's it. That's the one. Take the arm out, push out through the heel. It's called dancing Shiva. And then to release, you can come into a cross-legged position. Notice which leg's in front. So we'll do the other leg next time. So with the hands just resting on your knees again, just take a couple of circular movements. You can relax the shoulders, relaxing the jaw. Go the other way. Relaxing the, we tend to, some of us hold quite a lot of tension in our jaw, so just try and we all tend to have a sort of habitual place of tension. So just notice where your place of tension might be. And whenever you get the chance, just try and soften into that area. Come back to center, lifting the arms, back then. And then exhale, bring the hands forwards. So as the hands come forwards, you're reaching the hands forward. So you might stay here. So if your bottom starts to lift, just walk the hands back a little bit. So keep the sit bones on the floor. And then you might want to take your forearms to the floor. Some of you might get your forehead to the ground. And then start to bring yourself up. Lifting up, so more gentle twist. You've got your right hand on left knee, the left hand behind your back, twist to your left. And then come over to the other side, twist to the right. And again, twisting left. And you twist. And two more, twist. And last time, twisting right. And you come back to the middle, we'll do this on the other side. So take the left foot forward, pick your right foot up and rock the baby on this side. So see how this leg is feeling. This hip. And then this foot can rest on the inner thigh. So to remind you, we're working with the meridians in late summer of the spleen and the stomach, which run through the legs predominantly. So anyway, so we're letting the knee move away from you. You're sitting tall. So can you have a little bend in the knee if that feels better? Lifting up, tummy button to spine, pulling up on the pelvic floor, hinging forwards. You might want to hold on to the foot or just rest the hands on the ground. And then once you've found your forward fold, every time you inhale, find a little bit more length along the spine. As you exhale, you release down towards that leg. But when you found what feels like a fairly deep forward fold, you might start to push out through your left heel without losing your fold and see what happens to your left leg. And then bring the hands back towards you. You engage your core muscles, tummy button to spine. Take your right foot underneath your left leg, maybe. And the other option, Leslie, is you might want to just have your right leg straight. So you could have your right leg straight and your, yeah. So either version. We're often very lopsided. So what works on one side may not work on the other. Take your right arm around your thigh, take the other hand behind the back, lift and then twist to your left. Push down through the sole of your left foot, the edge of your right foot if it's on the ground, and keep twisting. So when you start to untwist back to the middle, sliding the hand down your left leg, holding your left hand with your left leg with your right hand, pushing out through the heels. You've got opposite hand to leg. Take your left arm out to the side. And keep the spine long, so rooting down through the sit bones, keep the chest open. And then the foot comes down, and you might notice you've got the other leg in front. Your easy pose. So we're lifting up. Exhale, folding forward. So again, either taking the hands to the floor, or the forearms, or the forehead. And then we start to come up. Lift yourself up. Take the feet to face forwards. Hands behind your back, and we'll take a little twist. So knees go over to your left as you look to your right. And knees go right as you look to the left. And we just flow from side to side. One of the ladies on Sunday, she said her granny had died when she was about 102, but when she was 70, she went in a hot air balloon. When she was 80, she did skydiving. When she was 90, I think she did abseiling. And then in her 90s, she was doing wheels on meals for the younger lot. Anyway, it's fabulous. Anyway, so twisting. So two more. Knees go one way, you look the other. And again. And you come back to the middle. Take your right leg out to the side. Have a look with the left. So this is tricky for some of us. So it helps to get your bottom out of the way. You're sitting on your sit bones. And if your back feels like it's really leaning back, you might want to have a little bend in your knees. So your spine is long. So you can probably feel the stretch through the legs, maybe through the tops of the thighs. Just notice where there's any sensation in your body, and then you can lift up. And we're going to fold forwards, and perhaps either just holding onto your shins, or you might be able to hook your big toes with your index finger and your middle finger, and your thumb to the top of your big toe, maybe, or you've just got a hold of the ankles. And then really listen to your body with this. So if your back is feeling sore, you might just want to hinge a couple of inches forward. You might want to try, as you come forward, you might feel your back rounding. But if you keep finding length along the spine, tummy button to spine, fold the body forwards. And again, when you get to what feels like your maximum for your fold, see if you could push out through the heels without losing the forward fold. Bend the elbows. Then you could release. Ease yourself up. Bring the feet back to the middle. So we have the feet hip distance apart. Take the hands behind the back. Spread your fingers, and we take tabletop. Lifting up. Lift the hips. So your head is in line with your spine. And slowly lower down. Cross the ankles and rock yourself over to child's pose. So with child's pose, you put your toes together and your knees are nice and wide. So the knees probably, to see how this works, your knees are coming out to wherever feels comfortable, but ideally towards the sides of the mat. And then you can walk your hands forwards, sitting back towards your heels, if that's comfortable. Take your forehead onto the ground. Ish. Now, if your forehead doesn't meet, you can just make some fists and rest your head on your hand, but otherwise forehead is on the ground and the hips are on your heels. And then when you're here, you could just roll a little bit from one hip to the other. So you're rolling across your forehead, finding some movement in one leg and then the other. So you're just rolling across the forehead. See how that feels?
And then as you stop, bring yourself up to an all fours position, bring the knees back to hip distance apart. So you've got your hands under the shoulders. Knees at hip distance, middle fingers pointing straight ahead. So you have see how this feels being on your knees if you've got a dodgy knee, and then you swivel your hips from side to side. And you might want to practice what's called Ujjayi breath, which is you can hear the breath by partially closing the back of your throat. So if you were trying to steam a window up, it would sound like a if you're breathing through your mouth, but you can make that sound by partially closing through the back of your throat. It's called ocean breath or Ujjayi breath. So you're about to hear perhaps this soft breath. And slow it down, turn your toes under, come to sit on your heels. Lift yourself up. So lots of doctors, the book Breath I mentioned last week, I have the opinion that learning to breathe is probably one of the most effective things one of the most beneficial things we can do for our health. Because most of us don't breathe properly, and we breathe very shallowly into our upper chest, and we breathe really quickly. So we're keeping the body in a state of fight or flight. So when we can slow the breath, then everything starts to calm down, it reduces inflammation, blood pressure, and blood sugar, and all sorts. So it really is quite a lovely thing to think about working with. So anyway, we'll take the right leg out to the side, draw up on the thigh. I think he's got the breath chap was interviewed by not Rich Rolls, one of the main podcaster guys. One of my children was telling me, I can't remember the guy's name, but anyway, he's been podcasted. So lift up. You can interlace the fingers around. You've got your index fingers pointing. So index fingers pointing. I will finish this one. And I'm reaching over to your. I had someone on a Zoom class once, and he kept looking at his arm, and I couldn't figure out it's actually one of those Apple Watch things. And then I think he had a call on his arm. Just take it off. And I'm reaching over. And then as you start to come up, release the hands, take the fingers to the ground, point your right toes, take your right arm over so the diagonal line from your toes. And you come down again, bring the foot down, interlace the fingers, but take the awkward grip. So you have your other thumb crossed. And then the index fingers are pointing again, lifting up, drawing up through the thigh. So there's very little weight through your left knee. And then reaching over again to your right. Ease the left shoulder back a little. And then release down again. So the hand can come down. This time, try lifting the leg. If that's comfortable, keep the toes on the ground. And the arm is pointing up, the hand's pointing up towards the sky. Pushing out through the left heel, right heel if it's lifted. Bend the knee, come back. And swap sides. So yeah, if you need to fold your mat, there's use Pauline's little magic pads. So you take the left leg out to the side. Interlace the fingers again, index fingers pointing. Take the arms up. Reaching over to your left. Joe Rogan, that's the guy. The Joe Rogan podcast has got the breath chap, James Nestor, on it. So the children won't listen to me, but if they've been interviewed on a podcast, then apparently they're worth listening to. So. Bring the fingers down, point your toes, take the arm over. And then again, the foot comes down, turn the foot to face forward so the foot's kind of parallel to the top of your mat, to the side of your mat. Again, take the awkward grip with your fingers. So if your normal grip is right thumb, try taking the other thumb. Lift the hand, reaching over again to your left. Ease that right shoulder back. So you can feel slightly more opening through the right side of your body. And then as the hand comes down, lift the left leg if you like, or keep the toes on the ground, drawing up mostly through that right thigh. Everybody, so there's very little weight
Up and down through the knee, then you come back, bend the knee, come back, and we come to a kneeling position. Lifting the chest. And then exhale, sit down towards your heels. So we do this 3 times. It's a little flowing sequence. We're going to take the hands forwards, still sitting back on your heels, forehead is on the ground. And then as we start to come up, the head is tucked under. You're bringing the body up, so coming up halfway to an all fours position, but pushing up through your shoulders. And then as the backs of the feet come onto the ground, so as you lower onto your tummy, don't collapse, just engage your arm muscles so you can lower yourself down with control into a cobra pose. So in your cobra position, you're drawing back along the heels of the hands, you're pressing down through the tops of the feet, your shoulders are away from your ears. And then as you push into the hands, turn your toes under again and lift yourself up. So coming back into spine, ease the hips forward. Shoulders relax, then sit down towards the heels again. Sit back underneath, that's it. Slide your hands forward. And then spreading the fingers, so you're coming up, and as you come up, your chin is tucked towards your chest, your shoulders are pushing up towards the sky, and then as you start to bring the backs of the feet to the floor, lower down with control. So don't just flop onto that. Squeeze the shoulder blades together, lowering yourself down. Again, you're coming into your baby cobra, your elbows are tucked towards your side, chest is lifted, push down through the tops of the feet. Imagine you're drawing up through the front of the body, so the front of the body is open, the shoulder blades squeezing together and down your spine. And then we come back, turn the toes under, ease yourself up again, last time, lifting up. And then sit back down towards the heels. We come forwards again into our cobra. So the hands slide forward. And then the body rolls up. So as you come up, you're in a sort of all fours position, but with your back is arched. The backs of the feet come down towards the ground, and then you lower forwards onto your tummy. So you're lowering all the way down. And when you get there, just the elbows are tucked in again, chest is lifted. So you can check to see if you're just holding yourself up with your hands, take the hands off the hand. And feel the breath, feel the movement of the abdomen against the mat as you inhale. Try lifting a little higher. And then just resting the hands lightly on the ground. See if you can take a little twist. So as you push into the left hand, twist to your right. And then coming down, twist to your left. So releasing back towards the mat, lift and twist to your right. And pushing down through the feet, lift and twist to your left. 2 more. Release, lift and twist to your right. And releasing down, lift and twist to your left. So come back to center, rest the head on the hands, and then let your hips just sway gently from side to side. And then as the hands come onto your shoulders, push yourself back to all fours position. Then today you've got the hand onto the shoulders, the knees are hip distance apart. So we'll take cat-cow, but really slowly. We're going to work with the breath. So we're going to try the 6-6 breath, which is just optimum 5 breaths per minute. So as we inhale, let the front of the body drop down towards the ground. Lift your hips, lift your chin slightly, 4, 5, and 6. And then as you exhale, tuck your pelvis under, chin to chest, 3, 4, 5, and 6. So as you come up the other way, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. And then exhaling, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. So again, inhaling, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. And exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. And we'll just come to a neutral spine. cross the ankles, hop over your heels, come to your seated position. So when you're in your cross-legged position, you can then stand up. sorry. Yeah. So let me just change my camera a little bit. So it's all about the breath. And I have to say, it did take me quite a while to realise that yoga was probably really all about the breath. And, I think I've used the yoga for ages as just an exercise routine when I was in my 20s anyway, and then it suddenly struck me that it was a bit more than that. So, anyway, so your feet are hip distance of, oh, these are all being sprayed with some funny stuff. So these are little wooden acupressure sheets that can be used. And the reason we're using these is because we have, most of us tend to be really up in our heads in the West. So our energy is stuck. So to release, to get more into our bodies, we can be grounding. And there are lots of ways of doing this. So one is just to walk outside in the grass and just have this connection with the earth energy, which we often don't have because we wear plastic shoes. We could do something like this, which is take the ball under your foot. Oh, sorry, on Zoom, you haven't got a ball, have you? You just have to imagine, or you've got a prickly ball. If you're on haven't got a ball, you could just massage the sole of your feet and fiddling around. But we've got these funny little wooden balls. I have to get you one. Oh, yes, you've got one, Annalie. You can get these, well done. Some of them have got like an infrared. You could use a tennis ball or something, but we're not going to do it for very long, so you're not missing out. But gosh, so you're really. So the stimulating, you could in fact as well on Zoom just rub the sole of your foot, but we're just to give you an idea. So just let go of the ball for a moment and then notice the difference from one foot to the other, just with that few seconds of fiddling around with that. Or how does that foot feel? It might feel a bit more tingly, maybe you feel there's slightly more connection with the ground, maybe you don't feel anything. But we can try the other side. So again, just rub whatever you've got on Zoom or here, your ball, under your foot. So you can get this out of the plastic spiky ones here, but the wooden ones I've had trouble getting more of. So grounding, there's a whole science of grounding and the importance of being connected to earth energy. And having this exchange of energy with the earth, which we lose because we don't tend to walk very often with bare feet. But they've looked at blood cells and all sorts of people. And if you suffer from insomnia, just being outside for 20 minutes with your feet flat on the floor is supposed to be really beneficial. I've got a grounding sheet on my bed. Let go of the ball, which it basically plugs into the earth socket, so you're in effect in connection with the earth's energy. So, anyway, so just notice how your feet are feeling. Maybe they're feeling a little tickly or prickly or whatever it might be. And then the other thing, which is really good for trying to ground or just release some of this excess. And we think about animals as well when they're stressed. The first thing they do is they shake after they had a stressful event. So we could shake. We can shake the arms. We can bounce a little bit on the heels. And you could, when you're doing this, just visualize any stress or anxiety just washing down through your body and away through your feet into the ground. Same time as you notice your breath. And then stop. So this is mountain pose. You've got a soft bend in your knees. Your shoulders are relaxed, your chest is open. And then as we sweep the arms up, you lift your heels. And you drop the heels, take your left hand down your right arm. Take the right hand to your left shoulder, so your elbows across. Sweep the hands then across your tummy, down the sides of your legs, quite firmly, come off your little toes. And then as you come up, you're starting at the big toe, you're sweeping the hands up the inside of the legs, up the front of the body, lifting the arms, lift your heels. And then as you drop, you take the right hand down the left arm, the left hand to your right shoulder. Sweep the hands across your body,
Slide the hands down the leg again, off your little toes. And again, coming up, lift, keep the heels down as you take the arms just out to the side and lift your chest. And back to your center. So again, lifting up, this time we lift the heels. And as you drop the heels, bend the knees, sweep the arms back. So you're reaching back through your fingers. Your hips are, your knees are hip distance apart. And then take the arms up. So chair pose or awkward pose, sometimes called fierce pose. Your shoulders are away from your ears. You're sitting down into an imaginary chair. And then as you hinge forwards, tummy button to spine, folding forwards, relaxing the crown of the head towards the floor. And then just imagine you're scooping energy up from the earth, up through your body, and then you can push the hands towards the sky, spread the fingers, reaching over to your left. Up and over to your right. Come back to center, bring the hand back to heart center. And we'll do this again. So lifting up, lift the heels. Drop the heels, bend the knees, sweep the arms back. Reach back through the fingertips. Keep the knees bent, tummy back into spine. Lift the arms. Try not to stick the bottom out too much. The pelvis tucked under a little bit, wriggling your toes. The weight's back towards the heels. You can gaze up between the fingers if you like, and then hinging forward. Backs of the hands come to the floor, the crown of the head coming down, and then you sweep the hands up again. Push the hands towards the ceiling, and then you're coming over to the right. And over to your left. Back to center. Is that clock fast? Oh, no, it's a bit slow. Good grief. I don't know what's happened. No, push the hands together. So if we interlace the fingers, take the hands up. Does it matter if I run 5 minutes over? Sorry, drop the heels and release the hands. As we lift the hands this time, push the hands away from you. Take your left foot over the right, squeeze your thighs together, lift your back heel as you twist to your right. And then as we untwist back to the center, so there are 2 options. You can keep your ankle on your knee, bring the hands to your chest and bend your knee. The other thing you could do is to come into eagle legs, which is what we did lying down on our back. So you can either just keep the ankle above the knee and bend the knee, or wrap your foot, or just keep the foot next to it, but you're crossing the knees. So eagle legs. So in which case you'll be everything is, in this case, will be squeezed together. In this version, you're just letting the knee come down towards the ground. So we're holding it here for a second. If you're in eagle legs, everything thighs squeezed together. Well done. So as we start to come up, we can unravel the legs, take the left leg back, take the arms back. So the option is to keep the toes on the floor, or you can take the leg back, reach through the fingers. You can try pushing out through the heel. And then as the knee bends, sweep the knee up. And we drop back into warrior 1. So warrior 1, remember, the leg is coming back, release the hands for a second. So you've got your front knee above the ankle, your back toes, I've got my right knee bent, the hips are facing forwards, reaching down evenly through your feet. Make sure this knee isn't tipping inwards, so it's pointing straight ahead. We'll take the left arm up and the right arm back. Gazing up at your left thumb, pushing down evenly through your feet. Spread the fingers. And then to release, pop the foot forwards. And so come back to your mountain pose. Put the hands on the hips, just swivel the hips around.
Swivel the other way. And then as we stop interlacing the fingers again, push the hands towards the sky, step your right foot over the left, lift your back heel as you twist to your right, pull the fingers apart slightly, you take the gaze towards your left heel. And then we come back to the middle, the weight is now in your left foot, so two options, you can either just take the ankle to the knee, just bend this left knee, or you can try crossing the knees and taking your right foot to the either to just outside the calf muscle, or maybe you can wrap it around. But the trick is with this, we're trying to keep the hips facing forwards, and they will just try and swivel off to the side. So push the palms, dogs in the background, squeeze everything together, and then maybe just try bending the knees a bit more if you're in eagle legs. Squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. Yeah, and you could just do that. You keep the toes on the floor if you're feeling really wobbly. And then as you start to unwind, unwrapping your legs, we'll take the right leg back, the arms are coming back, pushing out through the heel, tummy button to spine. And the knee bends, lift the knee up, lift the arms up. And we'll step back into warrior one. So warrior one, Virabhadrasana one, hips are facing forwards, back toes are turned into about 2 o'clock. Your front knee is above the ankle, you're rooting down evenly through your feet. So really strong through the legs. Take the right arm up, the left arm back. Gazing up at your top thumb. Release the hands, hop the foot forward. And if you just step the feet a bit wider apart, take the hands to your hips, folding forwards. So coming to a halfway lift. And you might just want to hold it here. So come here, so Anna, maybe just hold it here. So you could just come to a halfway lift, rest the hands on the hips. The other option is to release the hands, and perhaps you can hook your big toes, or just take the hands onto your shin. So if you're hooking the big toes with your index finger, middle finger, the thumb at the top of the big toe, you're bending the elbows and drawing the crown of the head towards the floor, or you're just staying in your halfway lift, depending on how your back is feeling. One more breath. And then take the hands back to your hips if they're not there already. Find length along the spine again. Tummy button to spine, lifting up. And then we can just maybe take the feet a bit closer together if you want to, and then we just flow from side to side. Close the eyes. See what's happening to your breath. If it's got a little faster, try and slow the breath. And as you start to slow the movement down, heel to your feet back to hip distance apart. Lifting up, little back breath. And exhale, flowing forwards. Take the hands onto your shins, lengthen along the spine. Hands come flat to the floor, and then you can slide the legs back into a plank or a half plank. So if you're in a full plank, try not to let your body sag. So you're pushing out through the heels, crown of the head, or you're in a half a plank with knees on the ground. And then drop the knees, cross the ankles, sit over your heels. So just to show you, if any of you, I've got eye pillows, but I probably shouldn't be sharing them, but I can get them. My friend makes these ones, which are really nice. They're lavender eye pillows. And I said, because I'd have to wash them every class, which would be a bit of a pain, but so I can get them. Some of you have got your own, but for relaxation, they're really nice. And the other ones you can get from yoga matters and whatever. I can get them if you want them, but eye pillows. But as I said, I probably shouldn't share them because I'm being really good. So, but if you want one, let me know. I can order them. Yes. Yeah, well, I need to find a source for these, my little balls, because they come from India. And when I found a supplier, the shipping was hundreds. So it's not worth me sending them. So I'm on the hunt for more of these balls. Lie down, rest. 5 minutes. I know, I'm really sorry. I know. I don't know what happened. I got carried away. There will be 5 minutes in your relaxation. On the timers as well. Right. So lying on your back. So remember, when the weather gets a bit chillier, to start to bring a blanket with you, because when you're lying down, you can feel a little, start to get a little cold. But Shavasana Relaxation is a pose, corpse pose, this is called. And the idea being is that you start to release, or you start to let the energy that you've settled in the last hour just kind of settle back into your body. And perhaps it's time to find a little space between your thoughts. And just acknowledge any space, sensation you've created in your body. So we can start by bringing awareness to the breath. And we could visualize breathing in through your left nostril and out through the right. In through the right nostril and out through the left. So imagine breath flowing through the left nostril and flowing out through the right. In through the right and out through the left. And as your breath begins to settle and perhaps begins to slow, notice your body resting, the back of the body resting on the earth. And you can relax the back of the body, the back of the head and the back of the neck. Relax the backs of the arms and the backs of the hands. And feel the softening between your shoulders as you relax the upper back and the middle back and the lower back. You feel the length along your spine. And release any tension in your hips and your pelvis. Relax the backs of the thighs, the backs of the knees, the calf muscles, the heels and the soles of your feet. The back of the body resting. Then you allow the front of the body to rest. Feel the softening through the toes and the tops of the feet and the ankles, the shins. Relax your kneecaps and the fronts of the thighs, the inner thighs, the outer thighs. And again, you notice the softening through your hips and your pelvis. Softening through your abdomen and across your chest. As the shoulders melt away from your ears. And you relax the fronts of the arms, the palms of the hands, all the way to your fingertips. Release any tension in your throat, your jaw. As you relax the tongue. The lips part slightly. And the softness through the cheeks. As you relax the eyes, the corners of the eyes, the eyeballs and the eyelids. You notice the smoothness across your forehead. You relax the crown of the head. The whole body resting. As you bring awareness to your breath. So whenever your mind starts to wander, just keep coming back to your breath.
rise and fall of your body as you breathe. And if thoughts should enter your mind, acknowledge the thought and then let it go. And come back to your breath. And we could introduce an affirmation, which is a positive statement. And I like, I move through my day light-hearted and carefree, knowing all is well. I move through my day light-hearted and carefree, knowing that all is well. As the body rests, feeling light-hearted and carefree, knowing all is well. And you start to bring awareness back to your body. You're noticing the ground beneath you or the air against your skin. Perhaps becoming aware of the sounds in the distance. Little birds tweeting. Or perhaps becoming aware of the sound of your breath. And as your breath begins to deepen, feel the energy, the chi, the prana starting to flow around your body. So that you can think about wriggling your fingers and wriggling your toes. Moving the shoulders a little before drawing the knees up towards your chest and then rolling a little from side to side before coming to rest on your right side. Allowing the body to rest, but breaths. You just continue a little virtual squat before bringing yourself up to a seated position. You can rest your hands on your heart when you're seated and take 3 slow breaths. And then resting your hands on your heart center. You move through your day light-hearted and carefree, knowing that all is well. Namaste. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, Adil. I'm so sorry I've run over. I'm really sorry. I know I won't do it again. I just get carried away.